Is someone injured?
Hey everyone, Languagehacker here. I wanted to talk to you guys about a new deck that has kind of been reinvigorated with the release of the Saviors of Uldum expansion, and this deck is Combo Priest, with some of the old school buffs that we've seen in the past, such as Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, with the addition of extra arms from the previous expansions, and now with some extra tools that we've received in Saviors of Uldum. Combo Priest is kind of a powerhouse right now. It can help fight back against some of the popular decks in the meta that we've seen, such as Mage. So it might be something that you guys are interested in looking at if you're facing a lot of mages on ladder. Now, before we get into some gameplay, let's review some of the new cards that Priest has received for Saviors of Uldum, or at least that fit into this deck right now. The first new card that Priest got is Holy Ripple. This is a 2-mana spell, which says deal 1 damage to all enemies and restore 1 health to all friendly characters. So it can be used as AoE, it can be used in conjunction with Pyromancer for even more AoE, and it can also be used with conjunction with Pyromancer and Cleric to get another AoE heal on your minions, which lets you draw a bunch more cards, which is one of the things that Combo Priest needs to do to sort of get the card advantage to win the game. Next card I want to look at is Injured Tolvir. This is a 2-mana 2/6 neutral minion with Taunt and Battlecry, deal 3 damage to this minion. We've seen this effect before with cards like Injured Blade Master, and in the past we've also seen Injured Kvaldir, although that's no longer in standard. It's another injured minion that helps Priest get something to heal, which means that with Circle, your Hero Power, Holy Ripple, these are ways that the Tolvir can be healed and let you draw cards with Cleric, or just make the Tolvir healthier and help you fight for board with it. Next up, we've got Neverset Ritualist. This is a 2-mana 2/3 minion, neutral. Battlecry, restore adjacent minions to full health. Again, another pretty crazy tool. This lets you make some incredible value trades with your buffed minions and then heal them back up to full instead of just using Circle or your Hero Power. This actually gets it all the way to full. So if you trade off like a 10/10 minion to a giant, it heals right back up to 10 from the 2 damaged health state. Pretty powerful card. Can still be used for tempo as a 2-mana 2/3, but I think the effect is very powerful, especially in a deck where you want to cycle as much as possible. Next up, we've got a very powerful Priest card, High Priest Amet. High Priest Amet is a 4-mana 2/7 with text that reads, whenever you summon a minion, set its health equal to this minion's, which means that playing out High Priest Amet and following up with some other minions from your hand sets those minions' health to Amet's, which initially is 7. But if you buff Amet with, say, Divine Spirit, Powered Shield, extra arms, and it goes above 7 to, let's say, 9, 10, 18, 36, any minions you play after that buff will also gain the health of High Priest Amet, which is incredibly powerful because it means that in the past, Priests had to go Divine Spirit, and Inner Fire to commit heavily to a minion, because once you use those Divine Spirits, they're gone, you can't use them again. But using them on High Priest Amet means that if you summon multiple minions after Amet gets buffed, those buffs kind of propagate to those other minions, and even if High Priest Amet dies, those other minions still have that high health total, which can be used with Inner Fire to finish off your opponent. This does read Summon, not Play, which means that minions that get brought back with Psychopomp, minions that spawn from Death Rattles, even whelps that spawn from your opponent's Leroy will gain the health of High Priest Amet. A very powerful tool. Last up, we've got Psychopomp. Psychopomp is a 4-mana 3/1 Priest minion that reads, Battlecry, summon a random friendly minion that died this game and give it Reborn. Reborn is a new mechanic we see in the Saviors of Uldum expansion, and what Reborn does is that when a minion with Reborn dies, it comes back to life with 1 health, damaged. Which means that if it had, say, 7 health before and it dies, when it gets reborn, it will have 1 health left over, but can be healed back up to the cap of whatever its initial health was. This doesn't include buffs. So for example, if you Divine Spirit a minion and then give it Reborn, it will not retain the Divine Spirit buff, but it's still useful with a bunch of injured minions in the deck, such as the Injured Tolvir and the Injured Blade Master, and can be used very efficiently for tempo just after something has been killed on your board. And it's really cool if you just have only High Priest Amet left in the Resurrection pool and then play Psychopomp, because then you have multiple Amets, which is very powerful. Next up, let's talk about strengths and weaknesses of the deck. Now, with these minions that we're running in the deck all having high health, such as Blade Master, High Priest Amet, Injured Tolvir, and with the natural buffs in the deck, it means that it's kind of easy to stay on the board once we have a foothold, because we have so many different heals and buffs to be able to keep our minions healthy, basically, and fight for the board. Another strength is the amount of damage that you can deal. Since Divine Spirit reads double minions' health, we can multiplicatively just do an explosive amount of damage from hand just with something like a Blade Master, right? With 7 health on board, Divine Spear that twice, that's already 28, and that's not including any buffs you could get from Powered Shield or extra arms. Another strength that has actually been kind of found now with the new expansion is Reborn. Psychopomps leave the minions kind of sticky, right? If you bring back something like a Tolvi or a Blade Master with Reborn, first of all, it comes back as a 2/6 or a 4/7, depending on which minion we're talking about. And once it dies, it still comes back again, which makes it very hard to clear on our side of the board. Now, that being said, the deck has some weaknesses. As you'll see, there's no Shadow or Death in this deck. There's no Mass Hysteria. There's no Plague of Death. There are very few ways to deal with something like a Mountain Giant, which you might see hanging around some of those mage decks. Now, the only way that this deck can deal with the Giant is having minions on board already, buffing them, and just trading off the Giant, which is easier said than done. Another weakness of the deck is that if your opponent happens to clear all of your minions turn after turn after turn, this deck can't win because it relies on doing purely minion-based damage. You have to use spells with the minions to buff them up and maybe do more damage, but the point is minions have to connect. So if all your minions keep dying, then it's difficult to maintain a foothold in the game. And it's easy to shut this deck out if your opponent, like I said, just doesn't give you anything to stick. No. Psychopomp's pretty good. Maybe I just try to find a minion with the pomp. Worked well the Blade Master last time. This could still be okay. Am I playing with my left or my right hand soul? I'll probably be using my right hand, but if it starts hurting, then I'll have to switch to my left. I'm on a laptop too, so it's a little different, but... Oh, maybe I won't be on a laptop. We are playing in a PC cafe. We'll see. Timer Techno's doing me. Yeah, that's the side deck for Languagehacker. He could trade Shield Slam me, but like, this is a matchup where you kind of need to do stuff pretty quick. So, if he has it, oh well. I'm not going to circle. It draws me 1 card, but it doesn't really play or anything. If he has Shield Slam here, it dies anyways, right? It goes up to 5. Holy Ripple's pretty good here. Do I want to use Coin here? I probably want to use Coin over Second Cleric. Circle's kind of pointless if you can just provide the Cleric. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, if he kills it, it's not that big of a deal. Versus Mummy. What's more competitive, Big Mage or Taunt Warrior? I haven't played enough Taunt Warrior, so it's difficult to say. But Mage just seems kind of powerful because of all of the Mage tools. But if you play Taunt Warrior very well, you could probably be competitive with it too. Like, I know some people in the Open Cups this weekend were doing well with Control Warrior. Well, Control Warrior with a Taunt package. Let's draw 2 cards. I'm gonna hit him in the head here. Not really sure what my game plan is right now, but it probably involves drawing a Met. I like the part where he doesn't have a Shield Slam right now. I might use the circle now to just cycle. Play it on the right to play around Super Collider. I could use a shield here to play around Warpath. And we know he doesn't have Shield Slam, so if he's forced to brawl this, he can't deal with what's left behind. Oh, Plague of Wrath. Smart. That's fine. Where's the Cleric? Where's the Blade Master? Or, sorry, healed up the Blade Master. Tomb Warden. We could do some Holy Ripple stuff. Drawing 3 cards, that's fine. Okay, I need the other Divine Spirit in my deck, so I have to play something out here so I don't get milled. So I'm going to play out the 12 here. This is weak to second Warpath, but I still get a Cleric left over, so it's like fine. Have I played Quest Shaman? Is it any good against Mage? I played a little bit, and no, it's not good against Mage. But it's fun. But not very good against Mage. So we have 6 cards left. We can make the next big board with a Met. Just clearing the board. So we're getting into Devastator territory, which is fine. This is pretty good. We're down both Psychopomps as well. I think we just make, we've seen that one Plague of Wrath. I think we just make a board of 7 drops. So he needs Brawl and Devastator. Rips the Brawl. Oh, that's not a Brawl. So now he can't Brawl and Devastator, which is good. He can Brawl and Shield Slam though. He's killing the Cleric, so it doesn't look like he has Brawl. It's pretty nice for us. Is there any point in playing, say, one board have potential 20 burst? There's some merit to playing it. You probably put it in a side list because the board is awful against every other matchup. Okay, he had the Brawl. Well, he drew it, so that's fine. What deck did I bring to Soul? Who knows? You'll probably find out later. Didn't draw the Divine. But like, Devastator won't kill this anyway, so we just go in. Damn, unlucky. Can we still hit the... If we hit if we Mass Dispel and hit the Divine Spirit, we have 5 mana left and we can still do it. It's not lethal, but it's pretty close, and then how does he deal with it? I don't think I do it. I think I just do this. Because I'm going to need the Mass Dispel to deal with the Ziliax. And this is still lethal over 2. I missed 2 damage, it's fine, it doesn't matter. I'm bringing Mogu Cultist Rogue. Don't tell anyone. Nice. And this is why we didn't use the Mass Dispel. Ziliax would have been the other reason, but... Nice. So you just keep making big boards that are threatening, that they have to deal with, but you don't want to super commit unless you have to. I'm learning a lot. This was useful. Especially if people bring this to Soul. then I kind of understand how to play around stuff. At least to an extent. Shake my head, din ding. Or however you want to pronounce that. Thanks for the follow, welcome to stream. So my play is going to be coin priest into psychopomp. Greetings. Just don't play cards. If you play cards, we're going to have a problem. Hey, you didn't play cards, that's nice. I could tempo out a 12-year now on turn 2. Maybe it's worth it. It's probably worth it. Psycho Pimp. I see an O there. Looks like Pomp to me. Ooh, I'm really glad that we tempoed this out to contest. We can also Psycho Pomp the 12-year now too. You've heard this deck is good, but you've had suspicions whether it's actually good or not. I don't think it's as good as people think it is, but I think it's still like fine. I'm kind of interested in trading here. If I don't, you can Wargear and kill off my 12-year. And I've already gotten some good value off of him. Even if I trade him off, I can Psycho Pomp again. And I can still just like Cleric Circle next turn. So it's pretty much over from here. He used the Venomizer for tempo, which I think he should have, and that's correct. But we just had the nuts. And there you have it. That's Combo Priest. Feel free to take this deck out for a spin on ladder and let me know how it goes in the comments. Be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Twitch if you're interested in seeing more of this content.